Thank you for joining us for today's virtual expo showcase, Redefine the Student Dining Experience for Campus Health and Safety. I'm John Ogle, Membership Engagement Manager with NACU. Joining me today from Agilysys is Jamie Hodgson, Business Development Executive. Jamie, I'll turn it over to you. Welcome.
All right, thanks, John, appreciate it. Good morning, everybody, wherever you're at, located in the United States, early on the West. But yeah, thanks, John, for that introduction. Once again, my name's Jamie Hodgson. I work with Agilysys and business development. So today, like John said, we're going to talk about what we have done as a company in terms of the campus environment. What has happened with pre-COVID, during COVID, and hopefully, as we move forward into post-COVID, and really how we redefined and taken our products and engineered them to make a safer environment, and making sure that, the questions that are being asked from parents to students to administrators are listened to along the way. So I've been with Agilysys roughly for about 2 years now. Selling in this market, in the business development market, higher education, business dining, stadiums and arenas. And I have a pretty unique background in terms of operations. I've been able to work in a lot of operations around the country, be it national parks or business dining or stadiums and arenas and so forth. So what I do is I can bring kind of that operational piece into the marketplace and tie that into how the software can work and how it can enhance everyday products that you have, or everyday issues and opportunities you have on your campuses. So, and one thing off of that, John mentioned questions. Obviously, type in the questions if they come up. If you want to ask them instead of typing, just interrupt me and I will answer them as we go. So, thought leadership, really from an Agilysys standpoint, we look at it as an overall experience, not just single transactions. We continue to look and think outside of the box when it comes to how we develop our products. How do we make the products better? Just not, that singular person walking up, buying, the Coke and the bag of chips, but how do you make that experience engaged for that student? How do you make it better for them? And how do you continue to grow that as you move along? When it comes to that, what we look at doing is building that guest profile. How do we ensure that we know everything about that student along the way? So if you look on the screen, you'll see 3 different boxes there. You'll see the sources, the engaged guest profile, and the personalization. So the first thing is sources. How do we get the information? How do we find out, about the student, their buying patterns, and faculty, and on top of that as well? And how do we understand that? So we've got many different ways. We've got the booking engine. We've got the point of sale, which we'll talk about today. Reservations, sales and catering, if you have that on your campus as well, and then through chat channels as well. That flows over into a guest profile. So we can create common guest group profiles for those students. And then we can, there's preferences, there's a spend, and then there's a strategy. And all inside of that is how do we match that with the engines and the software that we'll talk about here in the next coming slides. And then from there, it's a personalization. It's a marketing opportunity. It's an upsell. It's how the operations can work. So all along this journey, we try to figure out and help, the campuses understand the student. And that really helps define the products and what we have available. So Agilysys as a whole, if you haven't heard about Agilysys, we are a very, it's a good sized company that has a lot of different channels. A lot of different channels on a lot of different things that we work on. So you'll see here we've got gaming, hotels and resorts, higher education, cruises, and then sports and entertainment. So let's focus on really the higher education piece. And then I'll talk about how the gaming, hospitality, cruises kind of build and help the product become better as we move forward. So for instance, a lot of our information and a lot of our products are born in the gaming industry. We have a very big footprint within that area. And as we go through this process today and talking about our products, I'll walk you through some of those things. But they help build, they help make it better along the way. The cruise lines, as you can imagine, out on sea, they have to do transactions that they don't have Wi-Fi and internet, things like that, so they can't batch a lot of things. So a lot of our stuff came from there as well. So if your system goes down, our system keeps running. There's still that reliability, keeps moving. We've gained a lot of that traction from the cruise industry because they really pushed us hard to, how do you do this? How do you make sure that we can continue to run even though we don't have that connectivity when we're in the middle of the ocean? And then sports and entertainment as well, and we'll talk through a couple of those things as we move forward. And then my button didn't work. There we go. So our architecture, quickly just talk about how the architecture works. Our company works on the on-premise architecture, or it runs on a SaaS architecture. So you as the end user can pick either direction which you would like to do. From a SaaS architecture, that's the service in the cloud. So there's no servers on site. We host all that stuff for you. That makes it easy. That makes it easy from the maintenance of it. That makes it easy from the upgrades of it. And for us to be able to dial into the system and understand what's going on and how to make it, how to make it better for you. The on-premise is a server on site. You host a server, you maintain the server, you maintain the upgrades. Some places like that because it keeps the control of the data and the access, on site. But for the most part, most of the customers are in that SaaS architecture. We do run iOS, we do run Android, and we do run Windows as well. So it's very device agnostic in terms of how it's layered and how it's balanced along the way in the process. So our product suite, the one thing with Agilysys is that we can really touch all of the different major components within your operation. We have worked very diligently to ensure that along the way we try to understand what the end user is looking for and how do we get there. So if you look in the middle of this, you'll see InfoGenesis point of sale. That is I like to say that's the engine. That's the engine that runs the company. Everything that we'll talk about today when it comes to mobile or kiosk builds off of the InfoGenesis point of sale. And the nice thing about our product suite is that even though you may have different components, it's building menus in one central location then can help push out to those other products. So you're not changing menu prices in a mobile application and then having to go to a different application and change them into a kiosk application. You're able to do it in one central location and then move those out. So you have consistency. And that seems to be one thing that people are really looking for when we're talking out there, is that really want to make sure that I don't have to go to 18 different areas to look at things. Within that, if you go down a little bit, we have Visual One. We do have a hospitality program. So I know there are campuses that have hotels on site. So we have a full line of property management systems as well. And once again, the property management system and InfoGenesis, they come together as one. They can talk, they're integrated together. As we move down, we'll see eTech, Reimagine, and sales and catering. So eTech, for instance, is our company inventory and procurement. So once again, if you pair an eTech and an InfoGenesis together, an eTech and in mobile or an IG demand or kiosk, you sell something, it takes it out of eTech, the warehouse then knows what's going on from an ordering and procurement standpoint, business to business and so forth. So when you layer all of these products on top of each other, you have a very sound, solid system. So if we scroll up if we look at the top here, we'll talk about, and we're going to go through these in a little more detail as we go through. IG on demand. You'll see IG on demand is I'll refer that to demand, and I'll refer that as mobile as well as we move forward. So that's our mobile application. We've got Flex and Seat. Seat is our guest reservations, or I'm sorry, table management as we move forward. We do have a very robust campus card integration. We work with Atrium, we work with Blackboard. And so once again, all of these components, when it comes to InfoGenesis, when it comes to mobile, kiosk, they all integrate into the campus card program for declining balances, meal programs, and so forth. And there are tender buttons on these applications that allow the students to, buy a meal and be able to, hit the button, and it does work with those companies. As we move along, we'll see IG on demand and buy those. That's kiosk in the mobile, and there it is again. We do have a full line of APIs. So once again, so if there's products that you're using, we have a technical services team that can build into that from a transactional standpoint, and then analyze, and then digital marketing across the top would be Analyze is an analytics tool. It's a business analytics tool that allows you, the end user, to query reports, find data, find analysis on what's going on within your system to truly understand, how things are moving, how things are selling in your property. Any questions before I move on to the next slide? So the student journey, how have we redefined and how have we looked at the student journey? This is kind of goes back to what I talked about earlier in terms of that thought leadership. How do we think of things differently than we have before? You guys are doing the same thing on your campuses. You're looking at things differently than you've done 10 months ago, 11 months ago. It's not business as usual anymore. So we looked at things kind of the same way. How do we help move that forward, and how do we help with that student journey? So here are 4 areas we've kind of looked at as well. We got the order initiation. So we have the no touch options. How does that work? The QR codes, facial recognition, scanned items. So once again, there's no interaction between the employee and the student. Reduce friction. You can order items on your guest phone, barcode items, digital menus, disposable menus, payments on your guest phone, contactless payments, pay at table, integrated wallet, Apple, Android, things like that. And then employee interactions. We looked at that as well and how do we engage the employees? And from there, we could have a tablet. An employee could have a tablet instead of having a traditional point of sale. An employee could have a tablet and they could be walking around looking at items, or walking around and taking orders from a customer that way. So we tried to look at all of the different ways within your experience and truly understanding how to make it better, truly understanding how to engage. And this is where that guest profile comes into, where we can start understanding where people are coming from and what students are buying in this point, and really starting to understand that. John, should I wait till the end with the questions? I think there's some popping up. Should I wait or should I start on there?
Free to do it as you if you think this is a good break, go ahead and field some questions.
Yeah, let's do that. Oops. Now they went away. Sorry about that.
I can help here, Jamie. Let's see. Carla from Georgia Tech wants to know if eTech can work with Transact Campus POS.
We could definitely build an API with that and have that communication. It's a one-way interface at that point. So what I mean by that is it's not eTech pushing into the system. It's Transact going into eTech and going from there. So you only have a one-way communication. As with InfoGenesis and eTech, you've got a two-way flow of information back and forth.
Okay, that catches us up for now.
Okay.
The other question you've already answered.
Okay, thank you. So here's an area I want to talk about is reservations. So once again, we have a product called Seat. It is used for table management. We use this in gaming. We use this in our hotels. We use this in our stadiums and arenas. But what happened was we had people asking us if we had this. So what this allows is it allows students to book their own reservations with specific time blocks, still using the campus cards along the way. And then you as the end user can control and see the numbers that are currently in a designated space. So you can block out tables, to have that socially distanced, and you can see the reservations coming in. And this is one area that will help. You can still keep the, for instance, the all you care to eat, or the buffets or something along those lines, but still keep the social distancing of tables within your operation. The Seat also works if you have a performing arts center on site. So once again, you can do pricing per seat. You can have prime locations. You can do social distancing on here as well. And once again, as a reminder, these all flow back into InfoGenesis. So for instance, if you're using Seat, the payment process would be InfoGenesis with the campus cards and so forth. Excuse me for a second. All right, so as we move forward, you've heard me mention InfoGenesis On Demand. And that's InfoGenesis On Demand. It could also be called mobile. So think about that as a mobile application as well. It could be a kiosk application as well. We'll kind of define those as we move forward here. A couple things that we developed in the COVID area. I hate saying that because I hope that we move on to this really quickly. But really what's happened is we've looked at this and how do we develop an opportunity to use what we have and then kind of make it better. So this is one area that we've developed is the on demand for full service. So essentially the customer or the employee or the student comes up. If it's a restaurant facility, you can scan. The host opens a check. They scan. They give you a barcode, and then when you go sit at your table, you're able to pull up that menu on your device, and then the host or the employee can open up that check on a tablet. So that's what we talked earlier about having the tablet opportunities available. So once again, there's no interaction, there's no touching or anything, but it allows that continual movement of the product and how you are keeping the distance and making sure that you're still satisfying the needs of the students and faculty. So from a digital menu standpoint, here's what it would look like is that you scan the QR code on your phone, the menu pulls up, you're able to order what you want. That information then goes into the system and then can go back into the kitchen from a kitchen printer or a KDS, and then you're able to pay for that through the QR code. So a receipt is printed, the server can bring it over. You scan the QR code, and obviously you can see the information comes up on your smartphone. You walk along the process, and then you can pay for it. So once again, if you think about it, the transactions have went from walking in, a host seating you, giving you a menu, to here's your QR code, here is the menu, order it, here's your receipt with the QR code, pay, and you've created this environment that keeps everybody a little safer than they were before. So once again, this is where you can charge to the campus integration accounts through an Atrium or a Blackboard, and it all can be done from your guest phone. So as we move forward in the journey, we order from a kiosk. So the kiosk has moved from the traditional kiosk where you walk up, you touch a screen, you order your items, you pay for your items, and then you pick up your items, to adding additional items on top of that. So it has a table management system inside of it, and it also can be used as a scan your order concept, whereas you are you're scanning it almost in a C-store kind of concept. And then you have a display QR code on the screen as well that can help with it as well. So in the middle here, we've got this screen here. So this is once again, this is a traditional kiosk. What we've done is we put the QR code here so you can walk up with your mobile device, scan the QR code, and everything that was happening on this kiosk is now happening on your own device. So you're not touching a screen. You're not pulling a receipt after that. You're doing everything on your phone. You're paying for everything on your phone. It's acting the same as it did before, but once again, it's just adding that layer of distance between you and the screen. So it really works, but you can still use it as a traditional kiosk if you like, but you have this opportunity here now to have the QR code to scan. Inside of the kiosk, we've got a couple of things that work with the ADA. We've got accessibility to low visibility. So the screens help with the visually impaired. So you can see how the screens change colors between this one and this one. So you got low visibility and this one's enabled. The kiosk also have a bar on here that you can do a plug and jack into for hearing. So once again, you've got buttons that are attached to it that allow you to hear the order and place your orders as you move forward. So I talked about the 3 different components within the kiosk. You've got traditional, you've got the table management, and then you've got the C-store scanning and go concept. So I think we've all seen this concept somewhere out there. It's everywhere right now. It's in McDonald's, it's in Taco Bell, it's in a lot of different locations. So what this is able to do is if you have a food court concept or a concept that has multiple types of food offerings within one profit center, you're able to walk up, hit the button on what you like. If I want to go to the Golden Dragon and somebody else wants to go to Sugar Factory, we can order those items separately. They come onto one combined check, but those items are routed to different printers or KDS, kitchen display system, within the operation. And then you can go pick those up if you would want. So it's routed, it makes it easy, it makes it clean. I have operations that have taken this a step further where you walk up, you place your order, and they don't allow you to physically walk into the actual servery anymore. They have a runner that will grab the food in a bag and bring it to a designated location. An expediter will compare order numbers, and then you can go. So once again, they've taken away that layer of people mingling inside of a food court concept, and they really said, okay, we're going to segregate outside here. We're going to have an expediter that runs this so we can keep that social distancing happening. So I've got a little bit of both that are happening. Large pictures, you can do pictures, you can do wording on here, you can do some pretty high descriptions on here as well. Here's your order, and then it goes along. And then the tender types would be cash, credit card, and then the campus cards as well. So as we move forward, this can also be used as a table management tool. And this is something that came out from our casino partners. In casinos, obviously, they've got a pretty large, the buffets, which are more likely going away in some ways and redefined in some way. But this allows you to use the kiosk as an opportunity to make a reservation. So you can see Wednesday, March 28th, the meal is lunch, it's 3 people, and then I'm able to pick a scheduled amount of time. So once again, it gives you the opportunity to say at certain times during the day, I only want X amount of people in my facility, or I only want, I want X coming in at 11, and then I want the next group not to come in until 11:30. So it gives blocks of that 30 minutes. And so you can pick those available times to really start to move the flow into your operation. And then the last one that we talked about was the scan order. You have the system can generate barcodes on you've got prepared items like a 20-ounce can of Coke, or it can print barcodes, and then you can scan those. So these work really well when it comes to if you want to add items on to an order. So you could use the traditional kiosk and add on the Coke or the bag of chips, or you could put this in, like I said, a micro market or a C-store where it's just you walk through and scan as you go, as easy as you want it to be. And then once again, you take away that opportunity for people to be handing products back and forth, or the touching of items and so forth. Jen, was there another question?
Let's see. No, not at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so ordering from guest devices is another way. And so once again, remember, as I said at the beginning, all of these items that we talked about, the kiosk, the mobile devices on demand, they all flow through InfoGenesis. They all flow through the point of sale. So anytime you're making menu changes, you're doing that from one central location, and you're pushing that out to wherever you need it to be. So the online ordering, obviously, it is blown up. It is become something that has become very popular for those that have moved from working in a traditional office setting to working at home. We're all ordering more food. We're all using apps. We're all using stuff. What we found, we did some research. We worked with the company. We found that most people are using a restaurant app or a restaurant website or an app. In our case, it's a URL versus a third-party delivery. So when I buy something if I buy pizza through Papa John's, I'm going to go to the restaurant. I'm not going to go to a Grubhub or a Eat Street. While those all have great meanings and they work well in different applications, what we're finding is that people are using the restaurant piece, and that's something that we really recognize, and that's where, once again, our product works in that way, in terms of making sure that you have the correct menu, and it's your menu, and it's all on your party, your InfoGenesis site. So you have the opportunity here from a takeout or delivery. So from the mobile device standpoint, you can have in-room dining. If you have a golf course, which I know some colleges have golf courses, we see people using the mobile application on a golf course, where I'm at the 8th hole. I order 2 hot dogs and 2 Cokes and bags of chips, and at the turn, there's somebody waiting there waiting there, to hand me my food. The student union, once again, you could have delivery. So within the mobile application, you can have a delivery option where you locate, you say, hey, I'm in the union, I'm in this area, and you can have food delivered to you. And then obviously in an office, and then there's the takeout option and the delivery as well. So the guest device it's one application that gives you many different ways to order, or many different outlets. So we don't build apps. That's not what we do. We build the URL. It's a responsive URL that can be embedded inside of a university app, or it can be used as just as simply as a URL on any type of a device. Android phone, on iOS, on a tablet, on your desktop, wherever it is. And what we're able to do is provide different unique URLs for different unique opportunities at your location. So for instance, you'll see here, you've got the golf course, right? So if I have a golf course facility, the golf course can have its own separate, URL. If you want to use, the union has its own. And when I say its own, it only focuses on those food opportunities within that facility. So then you can really start to understand where your customers are going, where they're looking at through the analyzed product, and looking at the different reports that are built into the system, and really truly watching as the orders are coming in terms of this. Room service, I put this on here because this could be, I have a location that's doing, dorm service, right? Where they deliver the food to a central commissary or a central location within a dorm, and somebody picks it up. So once again, it gives you those different opportunities to ensure that you're taking care and you're understanding where people are at. So we can walk through how the process works. So once again, you'll see select an item. You're able on here to do modifiers. So you can click the burger, the grilled cheeseburger, and then off of that, you can have modifiers that build off of there. add cheese, add bacon, add onions, add mustard, mayo, ketchup, things like that. Add those all, and that's the modifier. As you move through the process, you'll see this is the end. This is my cart. Here's my items. I ordered the grilled cheeseburger. I ordered it rare. You can see the items I added onto there. And then down below, you'll see your order will be ready between 5:45 and 6 p.m. This comes up before you place your order from a payment standpoint. So I can look at this and say, yeah, that's 30 minutes out. I don't have the time to wait. I'll just walk over and maybe I'll just grab a pre-made sandwich and a Coke. I'll scan it at the C-score and I'll walk out. So we want to make sure that you have that option. It'll, if you want to wait, that's fine. That information then goes to a designated kitchen display screen or a printer. The product is made, and then you can pick it up, or you can have it delivered. So once again, gives you those options as along the way. You can add gratuity inside the system. You can have text sent to your phone. So once you put that in there on the kitchen display screen, once the order is made, the culinary professional touches the screen. It bumps it to completed. You receive a text. My food is ready. And then you can go pick it up. And once again, you could have designated areas where you can pick it up in front of that person as well. And then here's the fulfillment piece as well. You can dine in, you can pick up, or you can have delivery, and then you continue to pay. And then the pay system, once again, is credit card, or you can do the campus integration with an atrium or a Blackboard for something, from a meal, declining balance, or meal exchange, or something like that. So once again, very simple, very easy to move along the process. All these menu items are built behind the scenes in the customer back office, the user desktop, and you build those as you move. You can go along, you can make changes, daily if you wanted to. You can access it, but once again, all of the systems are tied together, and I think that's key critical as a takeaway. Is the systems all tie together to ensure that you've got a very easy back of the house management portal, because we don't want you sitting in the back of the house, creating these systems and these menu items. We prefer you to be out with the customers, out with what's going on and watching your operations and so forth. The fulfillment also works with order pickup lockers. We have a couple companies that we're working with. So once again, these lockers are located in designated spots around the campus, and you can put those in there, and then they're accessed via code that you'll be sent from the company Vicky or Apex. You'd walk up, you'd scan the code, the locker would open, and you can take it out and go on your way. So once again, it gives opportunities. The products and the software solutions give you opportunities to disperse crowds as well. So you want a pickup area here, you want to deliver the food, or you want to go to the Vicky locker. You take that 100 people that were ordering, and now you've separated them into 30, 30, and 30, right? And you really kind of start pushing them where you want them to go in terms of pickup and fulfillment. So from the operator standpoint, this is the KDS. So once again, an Agilysys branded KDS system. This is something that you can put out in the front. So you've got on the left-hand side, you've got preparing. So if my number is 201, I know that my number is, I'm being prepared, my food's being prepared. On the right-hand side, it's the ready items, 195, 6, and 6. The M behind designates it as a mobile order. So if it's 203, it's a kiosk order. And then the 201 M is a mobile order. So once again, it really starts to help define on where people are going in terms of picking up product and so forth. And you can see here's the KDS in the back of the house in terms of what they see and what they're looking at. So let me stop for a second, and maybe if there's some brave people that want to come off mute, I'm curious on what you guys are hearing from a guest or from a student. What has it been like over the last few months in terms of what are they asking for? What are you hearing back from students? What are you hearing from faculty and parents. You know, what are you guys hearing? How has everything changed, and what do you need moving forward? So if there's some brave people that want to come off of mute, I'll take some voice related questions. Nobody? All right, maybe we can't get off mute. All right, I'll keep moving forward then. All right, so in summary for the for the mobile piece, the key on here is there's no download of an app. As I said, it's a responsive URL. It's a URL that we provide. We help you name it, we help you build it, and then we help you manage it along the way. Really, it's a very easy tool when it comes to understanding and learning. So there's no downloads for you. You capture the guest location for delivery. You can designate spots. You can have them fill out their own spots as well. It has the full menu on there, and I think that's also key as well. You can put as much on there as you want, or you can put as little on you want. I have found that most locations will make it very user-friendly when it comes to the culinary staff in terms of building the item. So not a lot of grilled items, for instance, you know, cheeseburgers, things like that, just because, you know, it takes more time and so forth. So they're really selective on what they're putting on there. But in terms of understanding that, they're looking at the reports and they're understanding the analytics of it, and understanding, you know, what works best from a time standpoint. It has that estimated time for fulfillment. I think that's key critical as well. It tells you, you know, how much time is left, and gives you that text when it's ready. And then it has that customization from a guest standpoint. So as we come you know, towards the end here, I really want to talk about some of the takeaways that we discussed today, and really where we're at in terms of us as a company, and really what we're looking forward in the future. That omni-channel experience, that's critical. I've mentioned that a few times. That omni-channel experience in terms of having multiple platforms of software all integrated together as one, allows you, the end user, to be able to make changes systematically at one location versus having to go into multiple platforms. By doing that, it really allows that flow of information between all those platforms, and it also helps from a reporting standpoint as well. The mobility of the product. We're all using our phones more now. We're all using our own guest devices more. We want to use that. There's a comfort level there. There's a freedom of that. And so by doing that and having that available and putting menus on there, full menus on there, putting guest reservations on there, putting, and even from, and I'll jump back from an operator standpoint, reports and inventory on your phone really helps have that flexibility. Being adaptable. Our company has over 750 engineers that are working on the product at any given time. So what that does for us as a company, and for you as the end user, is really, if there's something that is a need, if there's something that is out there that, people want, we have a development team that looks at it and says, hey, this is something that could be really positive for the industry. Let's work on this. Let's really start to make this work. And then the flip side of that, those developers are constantly making the product better and better and better and better as we move forward. And so that helps. And every time there's an upgrade, every time there's something that we do to develop, make the product better, those enhancements, are yours, part of the monthly fees. So you get the maintenance of the product as well. So it really helps to have a company that is really pushing the things forward as quickly. And I think hopefully you're able to see that today and how we've been able to shift, quickly, back April, March of this year, to really understand what the market was looking for. And hopefully, fill some gaps and some holes out there. The menu engineering, I talked about that with the E-Tech briefly at the beginning. E-Tech is that piece that is, I believe, as a former operator, is key critical to any operation in terms of understanding cost of sales and understanding your flow of product, understanding the reports of what's happening from a menu mix standpoint and a product mix standpoint, and really helping you understand. And once again, that E-Tech piece wraps around all of these components of software to really provide a positive end result to make the product better. And it helps you, make decisions on, what I should be selling, and should I be selling this, and should I take this off the menu? Should I move to this, and things like that. And then the last step here, from a takeaway standpoint, is the roadmap. We have a very robust roadmap. And we're always looking to make the product better. We're always looking to make the product, work in different situations. And we have roadmaps that do that. A lot of this stuff on our roadmaps, to be honest, is stuff that's come from operators. It's come from people such as yourself that are asking why. Why do you do it this way? Or can we do it this way? And then, like I said, we have Q&A. We look at it and we go, you know what? That is a great idea. Our product, for instance, the mobile product on demand, that product has really went from a great product, a good product, to a great product, and it's on its way to this phenomenal product that is going to solve so many things. And it's things that maybe wasn't thought of at the beginning, but as we moved along this process and this journey of working with operators, they're asking questions and they're pushing things, and so. With that, it's really, you guys are the ones that help drive these products and make them better as we move forward. And with that, thank you very much. I appreciate the time today. I wanted to leave a few minutes for questions at the end. See if there's anybody that would like to ask questions, or if there's some more questions, Jen, that popped up on the screen.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, you had asked a question earlier about what students and parents are looking for in faculty. And Melinda says that everybody just wants to go back to normal. So not really hearing too much beyond that.
Don't we all?
Yeah, we all? Right. That is so true. Well, and to kind of follow up on that, have you heard of any other schools doing things to help kids feel, or students feel, more normal from an F&B perspective?
So I have, with some of the colleges and universities that I'm working with, they're a lot of the stuff that they're doing is the delivery piece, is trying to make the pickup, but the delivery of the products, make it easy for them, so the students can have nourishing meals 3 times a day. And that's probably one of the biggest things that the feedback that I've received is that the application helps, the mobile application helps. I can order from somewhere and I can have it delivered to me, where I don't have to leave my dorm or my on-campus apartment or something like that, and really starts to make them feel like they don't have to venture out. And the drop-offs are a neutral location where it's safe, it's secure, and so forth. So that's one thing that has really been, I think, helpful. That's the thing that I've heard, that the product helps a lot with that. Having that URL you can order from your, you can be sitting in your computer in your dorm room and order food and have it delivered over.
Okay, great. Let's see. Okay, so you talked about a menu, and so that's smart menu. And why is this solution better or more efficient than just a PDF behind a QR code, which is what we see everybody doing these days? So what makes smart menu different and more appeasing, either to the operator or to the student?
Yeah, good question. So a couple points off of that. So the smart menu, first of all, is the regular menu for the location, right? So it's not some watered down menu that is on there. So you're still getting the full the full feeling of you're in a restaurant. You're still feeling everything that's there to, to be consumed by the end user and so forth. So that's one thing. People enjoy that. They want to make sure of that. Secondarily, off of that is it's on your device. So once again, there's a comfort level. We all have our phones pretty much all the time, right? So there's a comfort level of having my device with me, and to have that availability to look up a menu, if I need to scan that code and look at the stuff quickly and easily. And I think that's really, some of the things that we're finding is that we're having that. And, and really, like Melinda said, hopefully we get away from that soon and we get back to normality pretty soon. Because that's what we're all looking for. And we can have a regular sit-down menu and hand a piece of paper over and so forth.
And a follow-up to that, Jamie, do the menu items go back to the POS? Meaning, is there some efficiency gained there by, being able to control the menu items from the POS, or is it stagnant and separate?
No, it's all integrated as one. So when I place the order on the smart menu on my phone, it acts the same. It goes directly back to the kitchen display or a printer where the culinarians back there can start making the product. So that's nice. Also, on top of that order actually goes onto a tablet that the server has accessibility to as well. So if they want to come by and ask, hey, would you like to add something onto this? So it gives that flexibility. I can order my own, but the server still has that order on their tablet as well. But there's no difference. The flow goes right back to the kitchen. The order is made and it is delivered or picked up at that point.
Awesome. One last one. All right. So you talked about common profile just a bit. How is that something that could benefit the school?
Yeah, good question. So the common profile, once again, is the common profile is built from, the sourcing of where are we coming from? Where are we coming in from? So once you get that common profile for a student, and the benefit is understanding, what the students are buying, what they're procuring in different locations. So use it as this. So if you find that, X students are buying, burritos at certain locations or a cheeseburger or whatever, and you're not selling it somewhere else, you can really start to pinpoint where items are being procured or purchased, and then from that point, from a procurement standpoint with the eTech product, you have a delivery and order. And within eTech, you're able to do transfers during the day via tablet. So once again, if I start to understand my common profiles, I start to understand my purchasing power of my students and faculty, then I start to understand procurement, transfers, and you start understanding where things are going within the operation. And that's just power. That's just power at your fingertips to be able to make those decisions, because I don't want to be putting out, X products at a location that's not selling and then those products go bad. I want to be able to transfer, move those things around. And if I know the profile, if I know the buying patterns, then I start to understand, what I can put out there. Also on the common profile, you can also do, marketing campaigns if you wanted to. You could start incentivizing people to move to different locations and so forth.
Okay, great. That's all the questions that we have, Jamie.
Okay, all right, thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate the time today. I appreciate the questions that came in. I hope I was able to give a little bit of insight into, who we are as a company, what we do. We are constantly trying to move forward and trying to get better and trying to make our products better in terms of, the functionality and the use at the end of the day. So with that, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'll pass over to you, John.
Jamie, thank you for the comprehensive description of all that Agilysys offers. And thanks to our viewers for your attention today. Our scheduled virtual events is posted online. Please check out our website at www.nacu.org. Special thanks to our showcase presenter, Jamie from Agilysys. I'm John Ogle with NACU. Enjoy your day.